What's your outlook on inflation in India and globally? We've seen in India the government cut excise duty quite sharply in a hope to bring fuel prices down. Is that going to be just temporary relief given the tailwinds that we're seeing?
Inflation in India, the most recent numbers, 7.8%. That would be now the third month in a row where inflation is above the band of 4 to 6%. So I think it was right that the RBI moved off cycle and raised interest rates. It will most likely need to continue to do that going forward.
Do you have an estimate of how much the interest rates could or should rise by?
I think there's so much uncertainty about the impact of what we're seeing around the world on India's growth that, it's not a prediction I would make at this point. But like all central bankers are doing, which is to be very data dependent and to move flexibly and in scale with the data that's coming in, right? That you don't want to be too little. So I think that's what, of course, RBI also is doing and what they should continue to do. Yes, and another feature that we're seeing in India and in other countries is this cut in excise duties and giving additional subsidies in fertilizer and food and so on. I mean, the main trade-off, of course, is you have to keep in mind the fact that fiscal deficits are quite large. Many countries have high levels of debt. So there's only that much fiscal space to provide these kinds of support measures. The best way to do it is, frankly, to provide targeted transfers to poor households and extremely vulnerable businesses. That's the first best way to do it. Now, there are challenges in doing it in that particular way, which is why you see governments just simply cutting taxes.
You've been speaking about this for a while. It
Yes.
now seems from some of the reportage that's come out of India that the government's warming up to the idea of income benefit transfers to those who need it the most. That you still believe is the most effective policy intervention?
That is certainly the most effective and non-distortive way and also friendly to your fiscal situation in dealing with the kinds of price increases, the kinds of shocks that we're seeing
Are there other things India could do or other countries can do to try and tame the inflation racket?
I think what countries in India can do, which is a big wheat producer, is increase supply.
So you're still pushing for India to export wheat?
It would be great if countries like India were to incentivize more production of wheat. I think that would be
I spoke
good.
to Piyush Goyal yesterday, our Minister for Commerce and Industry, and the point he made was we have to put national interest first. We had a massive heat wave, wheat production came down. We can't have a situation where Indians are starving, while of course we'll keep our commitments, but we can't have a situation where our people suffer.
To that, I would say that the way you prevent your people from suffering, it's the poor who suffer in such circumstances. And again, it would be the cash transfer route that one would go to make those, to be able to have them, for them food to be affordable, right? On the other hand, we would like India's farmers to be able to benefit from the rising prices and to be able, and therefore then incentivize them to produce more. So I think that's the ideal way to do it. But that said, I understand that there are constraints on how effectively to do all of this.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.